Hello, it's Janaki and Miss Thing, Food with Love. Today we are going to make some comfort food with a crack and dumplings and vegetables. So it would be similar to a chicken and dumpling, but we do not harm chickens. So ours is vegetables. Okay, we have a little bit of water in here just for ease. But we're going to use a crock pot. Right now it's not even turned on. Depends on how much time you have. You don't even have to use a crock pot. You can use your stovetop. But if you're doing it all day long, then put it on low. If you're doing it quickly, you come home and you want dinner, or on a Saturday, you can put it on high. High would be like 1.5 hours. Okay? So I like to saute one shallot and 3 to 4 cloves of garlic in olive oil. Put that in there. I do that first because I like the flavor of the caramelized onions or shallots. You could use onions, but I don't like onion. I just like a real mild onion taste. Then the lovely Miss Thing has already cut these up. There's about 4 potatoes, a small bag of carrots, 3/4 of a bag, or you could do 4 to 6 big carrots, and also parsnips. If you don't know what parsnips are, they are white and they look like a white carrot. There's 4 parsnips in here. You can adjust it to how you want, what your favorite is. If you're in a hurry, you can use frozen carrots. I don't think they do frozen potatoes. Do they do frozen carrots? Yeah, because they serve them at schools. I don't think they do frozen parsnips either. But you could also use rutabaga or any other root vegetable. So we're going to put that in here. That's why I didn't want to put the water in first, but I did some of it anyway. And thank you. So today, because I wanted to give you many choices to see what to do, I am using a better than bouillon organic vegetable base. And when you're using this, you're going to use a good tablespoon. This is a teaspoon, so I'm going to use more than one. You're going to put that in there. You can use your own broth. You can use broth out of a box or out of the jar. Try vegetable broth. If you're going to make this recipe, don't get chicken broth or beef broth. Use the vegetable broth. It's going to be delicious. Don't worry about it. Trust me. These are also, I'm going to tell you more about this one in a minute, but this is a little broth. Okay, so we have that, and now I'm going to put, this is fresh parsley, about, that would be about 1.5 tablespoons full. We're going to put that in there. If you don't have fresh parsley, use the parsley from your, in the jar, but don't use that. Don't use 2 tablespoons. Just put about a tablespoon in there. Salt to taste. We're using broth, so we don't really need too much salt. Pepper. I like fresh ground pepper to taste. Paprika for a little pizzazz. Remember paprika, it doesn't look hot, but it's hot. So just throw a pinch. Paprika's good with this meal. Now you can use nutmeg a pinch. I have the most fabulous nutmeg, fresh from Granada, and I'm going to, you only want to do about a pinch. Now, I'm not going to sit here and do this as much as I need to, so let's pretend, oh, actually it's going pretty fast. We're going to do it. So about a pinch, or maybe up to 1/8 of a teaspoon, okay? Delish, looks delish already. Okay, now, so we're going to have this cooking, we're going to do a little cheating. You could, if you wanted to, peel some peas. We're not doing that. They're not even in season. Remember too that you want to cut the root vegetables Some are softer than others so that they cook about the same time. So you cut the carrots smaller than the potatoes, the parsnips the smallest because they're the hardest. And again, I'm going to say it because sometimes people say, oh, I didn't hear what you said. About an hour and a half on high, however long on low. After you cook this for the main cooking, say an hour and a half, pretend these are peas. Oh, there they are. You can put your peas in there. So I would put this whole half of a bag in there if it were me. So it's cooked an hour and a half. I put my half a bag of peas in there. If you want to put broccoli that hasn't been cooked, you know, that's in the freezer, put the broccoli in there or any other frozen vegetable. And then you want to do the dumplings. Da, da, da. With the dumpling has, you can use Bisquick if you like, and just do the biscuit recipe and throw in about a tablespoonful of parsley and maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of paprika, and then salt and pepper to taste. I use 2 cups of flour. I have to read it because I don't know. Sometimes I put like a tablespoon of butter in it, sometimes I don't. Not butter, but the Earth Balance, the vegan stuff. I didn't for this one. And then pepper to taste, salt to taste, the parsley, the paprika, and you want to make it liquidy enough. Sometimes you can use your broth. If you have like one of these broths or in the jar, or you can just use water. So then you scoop it up with your spoon. When this is hot, after your hour and a half that it's been cooking, flip it off the spoon and let it drop right into the pan. You want to make them small. You don't want to have great big dumplings. You want to only use a tablespoon. Flip it off, flip it off, flip it off, flip it off. You've already put your peas in there, remember? Cover it back up. Cook it for another, what was it, hour? Another hour, and then your dumplings should be done and everything will be done under there. And then when you put this dumpling mixture in, the flour from the dumpling mixture makes the broth thicker, like dumpling soup, okay? And then if you don't want to do the crock, you cook all of your vegetables on the stovetop the same way, the same measurements. You make sure they're cooked, and as soon as they're cooked, you bring it up a little bit before they're cooked. Like if you were making noodles, it'd be al dente. Then you cook it, turn it up high, drop the dumplings in, and it'll cook even faster. It's like, after you put the dumplings in, maybe 5 minutes. It's really fast. Dumplings, lid, okay? Dumplings, lid. You have to put the lid on the pot, on the crock pot, on the stove. You have to have the lid. Very important. Lid. Don't forget the lid or your dumplings won't cook and you'll have like this stuff. And then your finished product will be this. Oh, doesn't that look delicious? Now, if you save it for the next day and your stuff gets too thick, this is what I like these for. You can just pour that in, stir it up, and it won't taste watered down because it's vegetable broth. Okay? Or you can use any other kind of broth. Or you can use this and mix it with water. So just thin it however you need to thin it. But here's the dumpling. Here's the delicious little vegetables. Comfort food. I think that's it. So thank you, Miss Thing. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.